It started with a confession that already had the world on edge. The night 50 Cent admitted live on Instagram that he had been involved with Remy Ma sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world. It wasn't just gossip. It was betrayal, heartbreak, and public humiliation, all unfolding in real time. Fans watched in disbelief as Papoose, the man who had stood by Remy through thick and thin, learned the painful truth with millions of others. But if anyone thought that was the peak of the drama, they couldn't have been more wrong. Just when people started to process the bombshell, another twist dropped, and this one was even darker. It all began with a single, cryptic Instagram story from 50 Cent. No words, no clear message, just a blurry image and the caption, "Y'all wasn't ready for this." It seemed like a typical 50 stunt at first, a joke or a subtle jab. But within minutes, he posted again, and this time, the world stopped. The post wasn't a joke. It wasn't a meme. It was a collection of private photos, allegedly sent to 50 by Remy Ma herself. The pictures were intimate, personal, never meant for public eyes. And yet, here they were, plastered across one of the most followed Instagram accounts in the world. The captions were vague, but the message was loud and clear. This wasn't just about an affair. This was about exposure, about humiliation, and about crossing a line that most believed should never be crossed. The reaction was immediate and brutal. Within seconds, screenshots of the photos flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Influencers, bloggers, and fans alike rushed to post their takes. Some were in disbelief, convinced it had to be fake. Others were furious, calling 50 out for taking things way too far. But the loudest voices were asking the same question: did Papoose know? And if he didn't, how would he react when he found out? The internet didn't have to wait long. Word spread that Papoose had indeed seen the photos. Whether it was through fans tagging him or someone sending them directly, the result was the same. Sources close to Papoose said he was blindsided, completely caught off guard. The man, known for his calm demeanor, for his unwavering loyalty, reportedly reacted in a way no one expected. He didn't post a rant. He didn't lash out. He didn't even speak. He simply disappeared. Friends close to the situation described a heartbreaking scene. Papoose allegedly stared at his phone in disbelief for what felt like hours, shaking his head in silence. He didn't speak to anyone. At a family gathering, he reportedly walked out without a word and vanished into the night. The weight of betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was a crushing blow that left him hollow. And all the while, Remy Ma stayed silent. No statement, no denial, no explanation. Her Instagram remained untouched. Her Twitter stayed quiet. The longer she stayed silent, the louder the speculation grew. Was she too ashamed to speak? Was she scrambling for damage control? Or had she accepted that there was nothing left to say? Meanwhile, 50 Cent faced a backlash unlike anything he'd seen before. Fans who had supported him through countless controversies finally said enough was enough. The comments on his posts turned vicious. People accused him of violating a basic human boundary, of weaponizing private moments for entertainment. Even fellow celebrities weighed in, some defending Papoose, others slamming 50 for what they called a disgusting stunt. But true to his nature, 50 didn't back down. Instead, he justified his actions by claiming that if Remy willingly sent the photos to him, they weren't really private. The audacity of that defense only fueled the outrage. People saw it for what it was, a cold, calculated move designed to maximize humiliation. For Papoose, the pain wasn't just personal, it was public. The man who had built his image on love, loyalty, and respect now found himself the center of a scandal he never asked for. His social media fell silent. No posts, no cryptic messages, nothing. But in that silence, the world heard everything. It was the sound of a man shattered, betrayed in the most public, humiliating way possible. Rumors swirled that Papoose had moved out of their shared home. Some insiders claimed he was staying with close friends, refusing all calls from Remy or anyone connected to her. Others whispered about divorce papers being drawn up in secret. Whatever the truth was, one thing was clear: the bond that once seemed unbreakable had been destroyed. And then, After days of silence, Papoose finally broke. But not with words. He posted a single story on Instagram, a black screen with white text that read, "Some wounds cut too deep to ever heal." No names, no tags, no further explanation. But he didn't need to say more. The message was clear, and the world felt it. The internet exploded once again. Screenshots of his post went viral. Fans expressed heartbreak, anger, and disappointment. Some begged him to walk away. Others encouraged him to fight for his marriage. But most simply mourned the end of a love story they thought would last forever. As for Remy Ma, her silence was finally broken, but not in the way anyone expected. She posted a throwback photo of her and Papoose from happier times, captioned with nothing but a broken heart emoji. Some fans saw it as a silent apology. Others accused her of trying to manipulate public sympathy. But the overwhelming reaction was simple. It was too little, too late. 50 Cent, meanwhile, continued his antics online. He laughed off the backlash, posted more memes, and acted as if nothing had happened. But beneath the surface, even his most loyal fans could see the damage. This wasn't a playful feud or a rap beef. This was a real-life betrayal with real consequences. The hip-hop community was divided. Some artists spoke out in defense of Papoose, praising his dignity and strength. Others called out 50 Cent for his reckless behavior. The story shifted from scandal to cautionary tale, a brutal reminder of the thin line between honesty and cruelty. And through it all, Papoose remained silent. His absence from the public eye spoke louder than any statement could. Friends close to him said he was focusing on himself, trying to heal, trying to understand how the woman he loved could betray him so deeply. Whether he would ever trust again was a question no one could answer. The story became bigger than a cheating scandal. It became a symbol of betrayal, of broken trust, and of the dark side of fame. It showed the world how quickly love could turn into heartbreak, how public figures could weaponize private pain for attention, and how even the strongest hearts could be shattered when exposed to the world. Days turned into weeks, and the headlines slowly began to fade from the front pages. The tabloids moved on to newer scandals, flashier betrayals, but for those at the center of the storm, the wounds were still fresh, raw, open, and impossible to ignore. Remy Ma, once hailed as the queen who had stood tall through prison time, career struggles, and public judgment, now found herself trapped in a different kind of cell, one built of distrust and whispered rumors. Papoose, the man who had once been the gold standard for loyalty in hip-hop, wasn't the same anymore. The twinkle in his eye, the calm in his voice, all of it had changed. Friends close to the couple said he stopped smiling the way he used to. He still showed up to events, interviews, even at home, but emotionally, he was on a different planet. He'd loved Remy through the darkest days, stood by her when many wouldn't have, but betrayal has a way of burning through even the strongest of bonds. Speculations ran wild. Was it a one-time lapse or something deeper? Did she confess? Or did he find out from the streets? The same streets they'd both fought so hard to rise above? Some insiders whispered that it wasn't just about infidelity, but about trust, ego, and the price of fame. Others claimed that cameras caught more than anyone knew, and NDAs were flying behind the scenes like confetti. Behind closed doors, Remy and Papoose faced the ugliest kind of silence, the kind where no one yells, but everything breaks. Whether they chose to reconcile or part ways forever, one thing was certain: the fairy tale had cracked, and reality had come crashing in. The world might have stopped watching, but the scars weren't going anywhere. Because when love is tested in public, healing in private becomes a war. 50 Cent may have moved on to his next controversy, maybe beefing with someone new or dropping another slick one-liner on Instagram, but the stain of this incident refused to fade. It clung to timelines, echoed in podcasts, and brewed in the comment sections like poison. This wasn't just another viral moment. It was a cultural gut punch. Fans and critics both started looking inward. What's the real cost of clout? When does ambition cross the line into exploitation? And how many reputations are we willing to destroy for a few million views? In a world where private pain has become public content, people watched, judged, and reposted like they were part of the jury. But this wasn't a game. Careers were on the line. Relationships were shattered. And for once, even the most desensitized followers felt the sting. It made people uncomfortable, and that's what made it unforgettable. Sure, the culture loves chaos. But this time, even the chaos felt too real. No punchline. No clever comeback. Just raw wounds aired out for the world to consume. Some stories aren't meant to trend. Some betrayals aren't meant to be memes. But once it's out there, there's no going back. And in the end, the real question was simple. Was the clout really worth the carnage? And for the fans who once believed in love stories like Remy and Papoose's, it was a harsh reminder that not everything is as perfect as it seems. The couple that had inspired millions with their loyalty and commitment had shown that even the strongest love could crumble under the weight of lies, betrayal, and public humiliation. Because in the end, the deepest wounds aren't the ones inflicted in private. They're the ones broadcasted to the world, leaving scars that never truly fade.